Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to A Character, where I analyze your favorite characters to the utmost potential. On this particular episode, I'm going to be talking about one of the most iconic characters in the history of manga and anime. One who has basically left a huge impact and has set the standard in the history of action and adventure. The character I'm talking about is none other than the legendary Super Saiyan himself, Son Goku.
Many of you are familiar with the Dragon Ball franchise. If not, here goes. The series was crafted by Akira Toriyama in 1984 after completing his comedy series Dr. Slump. Like its predecessor, it would later be part of the anthology-based Weekly Shonen Jump. 2 years later, it will incur an anime adaptation airing on Fuji TV. The series spans 42 volumes, centering on the life and adventures of Son Goku, a skilled martial arts master from another world, and his family and friends saving the world from evil and hunting the eponymous crystal balls, which brings the eternal dragon Shenlong to grant any wish the person desires.
Now, if you want a more thorough take on the Dragon Ball universe, then I would suggest you go to Mistare Fusion's Dragon Ball Dissection. The playlist link will be on the description below.
The series is a global powerhouse, setting the standard for action entertainment, and has continued to do so for over 3 decades. 19 movies and specials, a guide encyclopedia, 5 anime adaptations, toys, video games, and so forth.
To ensure accuracy on our research of Son Goku, we're going to base him on the 1984 manga series, which means no mistranslations or mannerisms from the anime adaptations or the Funimation dubs thereof. We'll also be taking a little bit of research from Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. And needless to say, and I'm very sorry for all you super fans out there, Dragon Ball Super will not be covered here. So, no God tournaments, no Goku Black, and no Return of Future Trunks. Sorry, folks.
Okay, with that said, Goku never started out with that name at all. Instead, he was originally named Kakarot, and was the son of Bardock, a ruthless low-level Saiyan warrior from the planet Vegeta. Kakarot, as a baby, narrowly escaped his home planet's destruction and was sent to the planet Earth. There, he crash-landed in a vast countryside and was the surrogate grandson of an old martial arts master named Son Gohan. However, Goku, the name given to him, was given the task to destroy everything on the planet, but during a mountain walk, he accidentally hit his head, which somehow altered his behavior, turning him from a violent sociopath to a benevolent, albeit strong young boy. Which brings us to where Gohan trained his now pure-hearted grandson in self-defense and basic ki training. All would seem fine until Goku somehow stood up late and saw the full moon and became a giant monkey creature known in the manga as Ozaru. During that state, he crushed his adoptive grandfather, only to not know much immediately after the transformation. As time passes, he continues to live in the woods, hunting for food and training his body. He then meets a young girl named Buruma, or Bulma depending on your comfort of translation, who is on a quest for the Dragon Balls. Her goal is to find the perfect boyfriend. After the iconic yet interesting first encounter, Buruma finds the Shushinshu, the iconic 4-star ball, in Goku's house. She tries bribing him with sex,
and Bluma wonders why Muten Roshi wants to give her the pipe.
Then decides to use him as a bodyguard with the promise of adventure.
Well, at least she fulfilled that promise.
Since then, Goku's life has been one of intrigue, action, adventure, martial arts tournaments, and raising a family. Goku is a guy who likes the simple things in life. He's kind-hearted, carefree, and has a strong sense of justice. He's tenacious and does not take kindly to giving up. As with many shonen heroes, he will not stop until he meets his goals. Now, take into account that he is a Saiyan, he enjoys his pride as a warrior. Though his pride is not as overly bloated as Vegeta is, he seeks a fair fight, sometimes with far more skilled and powerful opponents. even if these fighters play dirty.
Despite his nobility, Goku can be a tad selfish. Not in the sense of being incredibly greedy, but in terms of self-improvement. Part of this might be due to his inherent lineage, but it's also because he's a devout martial artist. He enjoys the idea of achieving new goals independently rather than with any assistance. For example, in the Battle of the Gods movie, he explained how he loathed attaining Super Saiyan God without any training on his end. He's grown to find how laughable and detestable taking shortcuts and easy paths to greatness is, which doesn't mean that he wouldn't use them even if it meant the fate of the situation at large. Plus, Goku is a ditz outside of the realm of martial arts, and he fears medical needles and other bladed objects. Aside from some scholar-based training from Muten Nurshi, he's had no certified academic training in his life, making him less knowledgeable of the world outside of the mountain country he lived in. Conversely, such worldly intake is a hindrance to Goku, and his already unbridled knack for self-defense. His kind-hearted nature has also gotten him into tons of trouble as well, even at the cost of his loved ones. The biggest no-brainer is that martial arts plays a big factor in the majority of the Dragon Ball cast, and Goku is no exception. Goku picks up quickly when it comes to learning new skills and abilities. His most noteworthy is the innate ability to tap into a powerful life force called Ki, a metaphysical power that is the key ingredient in Taoist medicine and martial arts. As it is a form of science, it follows all natural laws, requiring the user to be in peak physical condition in order to unlock. Therefore, it is not magic. Dragon Ball creates a clear contrast between Ki and magic, albeit an exaggerated difference. Goku's reserves may be finite, but his applications are limitless, ranging from augmenting his physical strength and durability to an outward concussive blast. Goku has a plethora of iconic techniques. Junken, which is basically rock, paper, scissors. The Bukujutsu, aka the Sky Dance, which allows for high-speed flight and levitation. And Shukan Ido, or instant transmission, as you'd call it here in the States. Lightspeed teleportation, which requires an irradiated focal point. In other words, a high energy signature. Now we cut to the more popular meat of his attack pool, starting with the iconic Kamehameha, the trademark technique of Kame Senin Ryu, which would become the inspiration for the Hadouken in the Street Fighter series of games. Don't lie, you tried it too. In the later half of the manga, his move pool has increased. After training with Kaio, he has learned two arts, the Kaioken and Genki Dama. The former engulfs Goku in a red aura, temporarily increasing his stats. The problem is that heavy usage of the Kaioken can put a strain on the body, and can ultimately be fatal. The latter takes very long to make, and is comprised of positive energy of nearby living organisms. Energy from sentient beings must also be voluntary. Furthermore, beings with dark negative energy, aka evil people, can fall victim to this skill. The next set of abilities play close to his biology. Back when he had a tail, he would transform to the Ozaru, or giant monkey, via the light of a full moon. But that means very little later on in the Frieza arc, as Goku would be the first in a long time to inherit the power of the golden-haired Super Saiyan. Initially, this form is fueled by rage and high amounts of distress. Super Saiyan 1 increases his abilities 1,000-fold and multiplies with levels 2 and 3. Unfortunately, the drawbacks are that there are later forms that are more taxing than the Kaioken if untrained. And since they are fueled by outrage, these transformations can make Saiyans more violent and instinct-prone. Thankfully, these trade-offs are for the most part quelled by training on behalf of the Saiyan characters. Despite being non-canon, Super Saiyan 4 was rather a popular, or rather notorious transformation that required a Saiyan to be an Ozaru firsthand. Goku would later master this form in GT, which isn't as rapidly bad as many people would think. But since our hero was a kid through most of the series, it was far more taxing to his body. Backtracking to Battle of Gods, Goku, with the help of his Saiyan allies and family, would become the Super Saiyan God, a form that made him near invincible to mortal opponents. Not only that, his ki is also untraceable due to his divinity.
and with the help of Whi's intense training, he would also easily handle the God form as a base for his new transformation.
Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Really, Toriyama?
And this here is where some fans start making Goku out to be too much of a god. When Goku, or any Saiyan for that matter, gets beaten to near critical status, he improves quickly after every fight. This is not a form of healing factor, by the way. Goku also uses the Nyoibo, a magical staff that changes size at the request of its user. He also used the Kinto, a magic cloud that takes people anywhere really fast. But it has a very simplistic security system. Your heart must be pure and genuinely righteous in order to pilot the cloud. Son Goku's feats are numerous, ranging from taking on the Red Ribbon Army single-handedly to challenging powerful aliens and gods. Not only that, his growing compassion for life has left an impact on even some of the most merciless of warriors, such as Piccolo Jr., Vegeta, and even the god of destruction, Beerus. He has befriended people you never thought would enjoy such sentiment. In the timeline of Dragon Ball Super, yeah, I lied about the Dragon Ball Super part, but only up until I don't know, the Return of Frieza arc? But yeah, please forgive me. He, along with Vegeta, have received training from Beerus' instructor, Whis. Goku is the father of two half-Saiyan boys. Gohan, named after Goku's adoptive grandfather, and Goten, who is literally the spitting image of our hero. Gyumo's daughter, Chi-Chi, is Goku's wife, whom he proposed to in the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai under the Heavens Tournament. Goku originally started off as a concept for the protagonist of a one-shot series called Dragon Ball, and has appeared in other forms of Asian media, such as the Taiwanese adaptation movie, and in...
At the end of the day, Goku has left an indelible mark in all of fiction. He's a very impressive character that has really taught us to really push ourselves beyond the limits of what we are. Goku is the type of character that brings about a lot of heavy inspiration for people to go about their very daily lives, whether it be exercise, achieving a feat that many would call impossible, you know, things that might seem hard, but give us every reason to make sure that what we want in life is worthwhile. And that's what Goku is all about. Achieving the impossible and breaking through the limits in which we have. And that's what makes him impressive. Well, that's it for in character. What other interesting characters do you want me to talk about? Drop a comment and who knows, what you might have requested might end up on another episode. But in the meantime, there are a couple of characters I'd like to talk about. One of them comes from a video game that has basically left a very, very special place in my heart.